Well, folks, I hope you remember the taste of omelets because it looks like eggs aren't getting any cheaper.
Eggs in my district are $9.19, or as one resident said, it's $10 to buy eggs, Rashida.
As bird flu becomes more of an issue across the United States, spreading from chicken farms to dairy facilities, Donald Trump has made it harder to get health care while pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, whose partial responsibility is to help stop the spread of pandemics. Let's take a look at the details. If you like the video, make sure to like the video and double check that you're subscribed. You guys remember when Donald Trump said this?
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on grocery. The word grocery, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat. The stomach is speaking. It always does. And I have more complaints about that. Bacon and things going up, double, triple, quadruple. I haven't seen Cheerios in a long time. I'm going to take them back with me. Bacon is through the roof. They're all through the roof. The milk, everything is bad. And we're going to straighten it out. We're going to bring prices way down. And we get it done fast.
Well, now he's saying this.
Saying, look, they got them up. I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. It's very hard. But I think that they will. I think that energy is going to bring them down. I think a better supply chain is going to bring them down.
Don't sound too confident there, Donnie. In fact, I think it might be important to remind Don the dummy that the reason why egg prices were high were not because of supply chains or the energy prices, but because of the spread of bird flu, a spread that's already hospitalized one man in Louisiana, and this was just from a month ago. And now it's not just eggs and birds. A man in California says 2 of his cats died after drinking raw milk that was recalled for bird flu. Pulling out of the WHO is going to have real-life health ramifications for people all around the world.
So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it.
U.S. President Donald Trump is pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, and that's raised concerns about the UN agency's ability to fight diseases and respond to emergencies around the globe. And it raises questions about funding for the agency in its mission. The main reason for that is that the U.S. is the WHO's biggest donor. It contributes about 18% of its funding. The agency's 2-year budget for 2024-2025 was $6.8 billion. Data from WHO show that in that period, the U.S. financed 75% of the agency's program treating HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. It also provided over half the contributions to combat tuberculosis, the world's biggest infectious disease killer.
But it's not like back here at home, Donald Trump is going to spend that money on our health. And the spread of bird flu is going to affect prices at the grocery store. Rachel Maddow just did an excellent segment on this that I want to show y'all.
Today in Long Island, New York, a duck farm that has been in operation since 1908 shut down. They had to shut down to start the process of euthanizing their entire flock of 100,000 ducks. Because at that farm in Long Island, New York, they've got a confirmed outbreak of bird flu. And bird flu has now killed more than 130 million birds in the United States, in all 50 states. In 28 states, they're now testing their dairy cows for it as well, because it has jumped from birds to cows. Which means one of the risk factors they're now alerting people to for this thing is consumption of or contact with raw milk. It's a risk factor now for bird flu. Nearly 70 people in the United States have been infected with bird flu thus far. The CDC just sent urgent guidance to American hospitals. I say the CDC just sent that urgent advice to American hospitals, but when I say they just sent it, what I mean specifically is they sent that advice last week while President Biden was still president. Because now that President Trump is president, he has ordered that the CDC and all U.S. health agencies should no longer release any information to anyone on anything. Not just to the public, but to scientists and doctors and hospitals. And that includes the CDC's flagship health alert publication for doctors and scientists called MMWR, Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. This week, CDC was scheduled to publish several MMWR reports, including 3 about this burgeoning bird flu outbreak that is happening and rapidly progressing right now.
all communications stopped. Because the last thing that Trump wants is another epidemic or pandemic during his term. They've successfully politicized the last pandemic into being a government conspiracy, when in reality these are very real and very reoccurring issues. Like Rachel Maddow mentioned, the WWMR was released last week explaining these exact same things during Biden's administration. And for the last few months, they've been tracking the spread of bird flu. Egg prices have been up for a while and people have noticed. So while Donald Trump seems to be making good on promises like making discrimination legal again and buying Greenland, he doesn't seem to be interested in bringing down those egg prices or the prices of anything else in the grocery store. Since I know Donald Trump hasn't stepped foot in a grocery store by the look of that silver spoon in his mouth. For the rest of us, the grocery store is about to get a lot more expensive, if that wasn't already par for the course.
You might have even noticed new headlines recently about the price of eggs really jerking suddenly upward right now. Average egg prices have just shot up to nearly 40% higher than they were this time last year. That's not generic inflation, that's specifically because of bird flu.
And I don't think things are going to get better here in the next few months. Our new incoming health czar, RFK Jr., loves raw milk. And while RFK Jr. wants the position so that nobody tells him to put down the peptides, raw milk drinking, psychedelic taking, and vax denying Robert F. Kennedy is going to have his Senate confirmation hearing coming soon. So what can we expect from our new health secretary?
Trump's nominee to run Health and Human Services for the U.S. government reportedly approached one of the nation's largest raw milk producers, asking him to please become an advisor to the FDA in Washington. This is a man whose company has been the subject of at least 11 different lawsuits stemming from contamination of his raw milk products. This farmer has also been the subject of 13 recalls, including for E. coli and Listeria and Campylobacter and Salmonella and, yes, bird flu in his raw milk. His products are currently barred from sale in California for making so many people sick. One salmonella outbreak his company is being sued for resulted in 171 people being sickened, including some people who got kidney failure. And while that is how the last administration was trying to get their arms around this emerging threat as recently as the end of last week, this new administration this week says, first of all, let's get the raw milk people here to Washington to advise the FDA, presumably on all the benefits of raw milk. And in the meantime, stop releasing any information on this bird flu thing, anything. Honestly, it sounds scary. Maybe if we don't talk about it, maybe it'll go away.
Pay no attention to it, maybe it'll go away, is what Melania whispers under her breath every time she sees her husband. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think grocery prices are coming down anytime soon. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.